Hi students, 12th Standard Accountancy, Chapter-6, Exercise Sum number 13. Balu, Chandru and Nirmal are partners in a firm sharing profit and losses in the ratio of 5:3:2. On 31st March 2018, Nirmal retires from the firm. On the date of Nirmal's retirement, goodwill appears in the books of the firm at 60,000 rupees. By assuming fluctuating capital account, pause the necessary journal entry if the partners decided to a. Write off the entire amount of the existing goodwill. Write off of the existing goodwill. Let's understand the question. Balu, Chandru and Nirmal are partners in the partnership firm. Okay, these three partners share their profit and losses in the ratio of 5:3:2. Okay, among these three partners, Nirmal retires from the partnership firm on the dated on 31st March 2018. Okay, on the date of Nirmal's retirement, goodwill shows in the firm's book is 60,000 rupees. Okay, so by assuming fluctuating account, pause the necessary journal entry for the goodwill, 60,000 rupees goodwill. Okay, we are going to pause the necessary journal entry for the 60,000 rupees goodwill into two methods. What are they? Write off the entire amount of the existing goodwill, and second method is write off of the existing goodwill. Okay, listen. Balu's profit sharing ratio, which means gaining ratio, is 5, Chandru's gaining ratio is 3, and Nirmal's gaining ratio is 2. Why? Why? Because there is no given the gaining ratio. So we have to assume the old profit sharing ratio as the gaining ratio. So 5:3:2 we have to consider as the gaining ratio. In this way, 5 plus 3 plus 2 is 10. Okay, after added 5 plus 3 plus 2, we will get 10. So Balu's gaining ratio is 5/10, Chandru's gaining ratio is 3/10, and Nirmal's gaining ratio is 2/10. Firm's goodwill is 60,000 rupees. After retirement of the Nirmal, on the date of retirement of Nirmal, the firm shows 60,000 rupees goodwill into the its book. Okay, accounting book. Okay, so all partners decided to pause the necessary journal entry for the 60,000 rupees goodwill into the two method. What are they? Write off the entire amount of the existing goodwill. They decided to pause the necessary journal entry for 60,000 rupees, entire amount of the 60,000 rupees goodwill into their journal entry. What is the format for the entire amount of the goodwill transfer into their old profit sharing, old partners capital account, which is the existing goodwill's journal entry is all partners capital account is to be debited and goodwill account is to be credited. Okay. So the journal entry for the existing goodwill is all partners capital account is to be debited and goodwill account is to be credited. So in this way, the first method of the journal entry is that we are going to enter the retirement date in the date column, that is 2018 March 31st. All partners capital account is to be debited. Who are the all partners? Balu, Chandru and Nirmal. So what is the entire amount of the goodwill? 60,000 rupees. So to goodwill account is to be 60,000 rupees. Okay, it is that 60,000 rupees entire amount of the goodwill transfer to all partners capital account. Let's take Balu's capital account at 30,000 rupees. How will you get the 30,000 rupees? The entire amount of the goodwill is 60,000 rupees. That 60,000 rupees is to be calculated with the gaining ratio. What is Balu's gaining ratio? Gaining ratio is not given in the question, so we have to assume Balu's old profit sharing ratio as the gaining ratio. Old profit sharing ratio, which means gaining ratio, is 5/10. So we are going to calculate that 5/10 into 60,000 rupees entire amount of the goodwill. Okay. So listen, 1 5 is 5, 2 5s are 10, right? So 1 2 is 2, 3 2s are 6. Okay, this the 4 0 is to be added here. So 30,000 rupees. 30,000 rupees into 1s are 30,000 rupees. That 30,000 rupees goodwill is to be transferred to Balu's capital account. So Balu's capital account at are 30,000 rupees entered. Then Chandru's capital account at are 18,000 rupees. How will get Chandru's capital account 18,000 rupees? So we are going to calculate 60,000 rupees into Chandru's gaining ratio is 3 by 10. Okay, so 110 is 10, 6 tens are 60, right? So these 3 zeros is to be added here. 3 6 are 18, this 3 0 is to be entered here. So 18,000 rupees. So Chandru's capital account at are 18,000 rupees and Nirmal's capital account at are 12,000 rupees. How will that 60,000 rupees is calculated with Nirmal's gaining ratio is 2 by 10, right? So 60,000 rupees into 2 by 10, right? 1 2 is 2, 5 2s are 10 and 1 5 is 5, 12 5s are 60, right? This 3 0 is to be added here. 12,000 into 1s are 12,000 rupees. Okay. So that 12,000 rupees is transferred to Nirmal's capital account. So what is the journal entry in the first method? All partners capital account data to goodwill account. So which means Balu's capital account data 30,000 rupees, Chandru's capital account data 18,000 rupees, Nirmal's capital account data 12,000 rupees to goodwill account 60,000 rupees. Okay. So this is the first method. Come to the next method, second method. Write off of the existing goodwill, off of the amount of the existing goodwill. So what is the off of the amount of the existing goodwill? The entire amount of the goodwill is 60,000 rupees given in the question. What is the off of the goodwill from the 60,000 rupees? So 60,000 rupees into off means 1 by 2. Okay. So 60,000 rupees into 1 by 2. 1 2 is 2. 3 2s are 6. This 3 0 is 4 0 is to be added here. 30,000 into 1s are 30,000 rupees. So off of the goodwill is 30,000 rupees we get. Okay. So we are going to pass the necessary journal entry for this off of the amount of the existing goodwill. So what is the journal entry for the existing goodwill? All partners capital account is to be debited and goodwill account is to be credited. Okay. So in this way, who are the all partners? Balu, Chandru and Nirmal. So that 30,000 rupees goodwill is to be transferred to all partners capital account with their gaining ratio. So what is their gaining ratio? Gaining ratio is not given in the question. So we have to assume that old profit sharing ratio we have to consider as the gaining ratio. So in this way, that off of the goodwill, which means 30,000 rupees goodwill is to be transferred to all partners capital account. In this way, the same date of determined date is 2018 31st March. Balu's capital account at 15,000 rupees. Okay, so we have to calculate that half of the amount of 30,000 rupees, half of the amount of the goodwill is 30,000 rupees is to be calculated with Balu's gaining ratio, old profit, which means old profit sharing ratio 5 by 10 into 30,000 rupees. Okay. So 30,000 rupees into 5 by 10. 1 5 is 5. 2 5s are 10. Okay. So 1 2 is 2. 15 2s are 30. These 3 zeros is to be added here. 15,000 into 1s are 15,000 rupees. So that 15,000 rupees goodwill transfer to Balu's capital account. So Balu's capital account at 15,000 rupees entered. Then that the half of the goodwill value is 30,000 rupees are going to calculate it with Chandru's gaining ratio. Gaining ratio is not given in the question, so we have to assume Chandru's old profit sharing ratio as the gaining ratio. Chandru's gaining ratio is 3 by 10. So that half of the goodwill 30,000 rupees into 3 by 10 is 30,000 rupees into 3 by 10, right? So 110 is 10, 3 tens are 30, 3 0 is to be added here. 3000 into 3s are 3 3s are 9, 3 0 is to be added here. So 9,000 rupees. Okay, so Chandru's capital account data 9,000 rupees transferred. Then Nirmal's capital account data, Nirmal's capital account data 6,000 rupees. So 30,000 rupees into Nirmal's gaining ratio is 2 by 10, which means Nirmal's old profit sharing ratio is 2 by 10. So we have to assume old profit sharing ratio as the gaining ratio. So 30,000 rupees into 2 by 10. 30,000 rupees into 2 by 10, right? So 1 2 is 2, 5 2s are 10, 1 5 is 5, 15, sorry, 1 5 is 5, 6 5s are 30, this 3 0 is to be added here, 6,000 rupees, okay, 6,000 into 1s are 6,000 rupees, okay. So Nirmal's capital account data 6,000 rupees to goodwill account 30,000 rupees. So what is the journal entry? All partners capital account data to goodwill account. In this way, Balu's capital account data 15,000 rupees, Chandru's capital account data 9,000 rupees, Nirmal's capital account data 6,000 rupees to goodwill account 30,000 rupees. Do you have any doubt? Please comment it in the comment box. Thank you. Take care.